right. Welcome, everybody, to the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast, Season 4. Binge watch them all on YouTube, the Owatonna Wrestling Association's YouTube page. But we're also available on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. And, I want to point out, too, and maybe we need to be a little bit more clear about it. I hear out in the community of like, I don't know how you guys are doing. Well, I'm pretty sure we have a weekly podcast where the first 20 minutes we go over exactly how we're doing every single week. So it's not just the fact that we have great guests on, alumni, coaches, wrestlers, everything like that. We also recap every week how we're doing, kind of give you some inside baseball on the team and everything like that. So we appreciate you tuning in. And
we recap from high school to middle school, and every once in a while throw in some elementary. Yep. The youth and collegiate, too. Exactly. And I got some news on that, too, this weekend.
Nice. Yeah.
So, we all alumni through beginners.
Exactly. Entire program. So, I'm Coach Derek Johnson, and by my side, as always, is Coach Gabe Hovden, the OWA MinUSA, which means folk style, freestyle, and Greco nowadays, and then also a great middle school assistant coach, and our captain's practice drill sergeant, all in one here. So, welcome back. And then we want to take a second to thank our podcast sponsor, Coles Electric, a wonderful sponsor of the Owatonna Wrestling Association, both with the child they donated to us for like 10 years.
Both child, two.
Oh, two, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
two.
right. But also everything they help us with and support, and we pass that along. Off the top of my head, it was like the OWA, we spend about $230 per youth, about $160, $170 for middle school. We wouldn't have a middle school program without these type of donations. And then the high school, same thing, about $180 per kid. So the Owatonna Wrestling Association, the official booster club, but honestly, it's because of the community sponsorships, and it's great support out there in the Owatonna wrestling community.
Yep.
So thank you, Coles Electric. So the high school, we had a really fun, tough weekend. So we went to the Zumbrota Quad, as we do every year. Just varsity went there. And leading into it, Casson had just been demoted a day after this last podcast. They were number 2 ranked at single A, and they were down to number 10 in single A. But we went out there and took care of business. We got over the Kenyon-Wanamingo hump, and that was with forfeiting a 27-pounder where we were down Jace Fearing, R.J. Renardi, and Peyton Gleasing in the lineup, and still won 32-24. It was a great turning point. Us on the coaching staff, all around that day, we talked about how much more cognizant and team-oriented with how we fought for team points. We fought off our back. We tried to keep matches close, and it mattered all over the place, and that was great. So just one thing, we knew going into that one that the first 4 out of the first 5 weights, Kenyon-Wanamingo was ranked. Okay. And so we were telling our upper weights, like, hey, we're going to weather the storm down low, and as long as we're within, 15 team points by 145, then we're going to roll. Because we knew after that, odds are we weren't going to lose another match until heavyweight. They have a really good heavyweight. Okay. But outside of that, and sure enough, that's what happened. We had Caden Lindquist had a really close one, so he's ranked number 3 in AAA. He was going against the number 2 ranked in single A, and beat him 3-1, handled him, which was great. And then, so we were playing a little bit of what are they going to do with them, because we thought they were going to try to bump away. We won the flip, so we kept Caden on Liam Summer, which was great. And that meant Jacob Wilson coming in for kind of a 50-50 match against Ramirez, and he went 7-1. He delivered there, so that was awesome. So taking 2, we wanted out of the first 5 weights to take at least 2 matches. Okay. And boom, we got him right off the bat, 107, 114. Gabe Robb did a really good job against number 4 ranked Brian Jacobson. Robb held him to a major, 14-3. Poor Gabe had a tough day. Every kid was ranked. Centennial kid was a senior captain. He wasn't ranked, but he was a senior captain. So that was what his day was like, and the fact that he saved, kept it to a major decision was huge. We then forfeited at 127 to Ryan LeCan, who is a stud. And then poor Karsten Lane was winning his match against ranked Reed Summer, another senior, the older brother of Liam, and got tossed at the end. Yeah. Otherwise, he was winning that one. So he lost 9-7, really close match.
Okay.
But once again, we took 2 out of the first 5. That was the goal. And then after that, they had one more ranked kid. That was Mason Hansen, a senior, against Casas. Casas avoided the pin. That was good, too. So saving team points all over the place.
Yeah, when you save team points, it's big when it comes down to, against good teams. You have to have every point you get.
Exactly. And then looking at what we then turned around and did, that's what I love. We had Trey Hyatt with a tech fall. We had Colton Glende with a major decision. We had Riley Krieger with a major decision. We had Carter Flatland with a major decision. And then Logan Risser stepping up into the varsity lineup got a win as well, 7-2. They forfeited to Blake Fischer, which was frustrating. And then Max had a tough match. That kid is a really, really good heavyweight, Charles Conker. And Max is about 80% human right now. He's ankle, toe, shoulder, everything's taped up on him.
Yeah.
He's hobbling around. So, he's not 100%, but nonetheless, we got the win on number 10 ranked Kenyon, and then we had number 3 ranked Zumbrota, which, man, they've had our number every year I've been coaching where they've been blowing us out, quite frankly, by 30+. We lost that one 27-35, and we were actually leading going into 189. Once again, it would have been great to have RJ. It would have been great to have Peyton Gleasing, who's a really good team point saver at 189. But nonetheless, it was a really well-wrestled meet. Caden Lindquist, once again, had a ranked kid. He had the number 5 ranked kid in AA, Carl Murray, and got a major decision, 15-4. They then had the number 2 ranked kid in the state, Sammy Moore. And Wilson avoided the pin on that one and actually almost fireman's carried him twice. Ended up giving up the tech fall, but Jacob fought really, really hard on Saturday, which was great to see. And then they have another stud, Gent Byer, who's ranked. And Gabe Robb gave up the major decision, but honestly scored in the last period. If there were 4 periods to a match, Gabe Robb actually would have been in that match. He scored 2 near fall and an escape near the end of the third period. So, he was starting to look really tough. Then we traded a few forfeits, which was frustrating because they bumped away from Lane and forfeited to him. We had to forfeit. But then, Casas giving up only a major to Majerus, and Majerus is a really good wrestler for them. Trey Hyatt got a tech fall. Glende got a pin. Krieger should have had a pin. That was very controversial. I probably won't get into it much. Let's just say me and Mark Creer got into it a little bit at the table. But then we made up. But he got the win, and then they had some real studs. Carter Flatland only giving up a major to Nordquist was like all effort. It was such a valiant effort by Carter. And then knowing we were injured, knowing how the last couple matches were going to go, and even to a point, Logan Risser's been having shoulder problems. And so we decided to opt for Ryan Feltz at 89. Senior, what a great story.
Yeah.
Opt to him thinking that no matter what we were going to no matter who we put in, we were going to lose. Feltz goes out there and gets a really quick takedown right away, and we're like, oh my God, we have a match. That's we had already kind of relegated how the lineup was going to go, thinking no matter what, they're going to take 2 out of the last 3, and it's over. Instead, Feltzy back and forth with this kid into the third, tried a little ill-advised throw at the end. Can't fault the kid. Feltzy is just such a lovable guy and fought really well, and just proud of him. I mean, he stepped up in a big spot and almost helped us upset Zumbrota, which was cool to see.
And he's going to go out there and give it his all every time.
Absolutely.
He's going for that win no matter what it's going to take. He's going to try.
Yeah, he's such a gamer. And then, so Risser then had their ranked kid, Lex Fold, who had bumped up to 215. And then Fischer had a 7-0 decision, blanked this kid again. Christian Holm is most likely going to end the year ranked as well. They're 215-pounder. So both of our 215s bumped up, and Fischer took care of business, man. He had a beautiful double leg, just feet to back and everything. But this was the first time we had given Zumbrota a run, and it was cool to see. It was awesome that a team that had beaten Casson They had dominated against some like opponents and everything, and we took them to the wire. We felt pretty good about that.
Okay, good.
And then Centennial, and like, Coach, why is that a big deal? Because it keeps coming down to heavyweight with Centennial the last 2 years, and it shouldn't have. And we blew them out of the water 50-19.
Oh, good.
Took care of business. And one or a couple matches to point out, honestly, were like Nathan Gronley coming in at 160. Riley Krieger had a few crazy battles in the first 2 matches. And the lower weights had taken care of business to the point of we showed Nathan Gronley. He goes out there, gets a quick takedown, quick bar arm pin, and that was cool to see, to work him into the lineup. And then Fischer, I mean, he had a tough day because he also had the number 9 ranked kid in AAA, the kid that ranked 1 above him.
Okay.
And he dominated him. The score 5-0 isn't indicative. Fischer kept taking him down really fast and then just riding the crap out of him.
All right.
And going for the pin. The bar arm just wasn't quite there, but yeah, Fischer was extremely dominant on the day and cool to see.
Good.
And then Caden Keller goes out. And Caden Keller, if you don't know, he's a full heavyweight and extremely fun dude and really fun to watch. And he moves a lot better than you think a full heavyweight might. And this poor kid left his arm up, tried to hit kind of a high crotch, and Keller threw about the loudest headlock I've heard in a long time. Just straight down. One of those Chael Sonnen, like straight down headlocks.
Like a sag.
Yeah, sag headlock.
Yep, full force.
So 285 coming down on you. I'm shocked the kid fought it.
Yeah.
Like he pinned him, but it took like 15 seconds. Kudos to that kid. He was a 215-pounder basically wrestling up. And yeah, so that was cool to end on that. End our day on Caden Keller sag headlock, just drilling a kid through the mat. So
good.
That was awesome to see. And then because you were there, I'm going to defer to you on the girls up at the Rick Lee. I still had Belle at the border, but obviously it's the Rick Lee Bemidji tournament this past weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, I went up to watch, and I didn't get to see everybody wrestle because they would all pop up because there was between 4 and 6 matches, and all of a sudden one would pop up if you'd be on one side of the mat or one side of the arena and the other. They had boys duel started at the beginning of the day. Also, the girls individual started, and then they also had a youth tournament going on all in the same building. So it was there was a lot of people. It was at the Bemidji State hockey arena. So the hockey boards were around, and you just sat up there. And Kayla went 3-1, took second place. Number 3 she is. She pinned number 2 from South St. Paul in the semis. So I think there's a little thing there.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see her finals match because Isabelle was coming up, and I was on that side of the gym. I was just sitting down there watching, and from what I gathered, Kayla kind of got caught.
I was about to say, her getting pinned is very rare. She
got caught. Her head popped up, and if I seen right, it was more of like a headlock. I mean, it was just a slight mistake of positioning and got caught. Yeah. And then Isabelle Townley, ranked number 6th. She beat number 10th. From Moorhead in the semi. Kanneh from. Yeah. That was a battle. That was. It was
11-9, I think, final.
Yeah, that was a battle. It was more of who's going to physically break the other one. There wasn't a lot of technique going on.
Coach Yule said it got a little chippy.
Yeah, it got real chippy. A lot of hands to the face. A lot of really hard head snaps. Okay. But Isabelle just, Coach Yule kept her in control, and she ended up winning that one. She actually got her 75th and 76th varsity win up there. So girls varsity win, I should say. Or girls. So is that how it is, or
that reminds me? Yeah, I'll specify how that works. But first, I got to say we forgot Lane Karsten passed 100.
Okay.
So that's going to be Lane, Isabelle Townley, and Caden Lindquist are all going to get recognized at the next home meet at Alumni Night because Lane went over 100, Isabelle went over 75, and Caden Lindquist also went over 75.
Okay.
Very recently. How we do the girls' criteria, just because in the first couple of years there weren't a lot of girls-only events, but we still wanted to give them credit for as much as they can. So their career wins and losses is based on boys varsity, boys JV if they wrestle a girl at those JV, and then the girls only varsity side. Yep, not the JV brackets of girls. So those are the 3 things for criteria for including him in. Because at first it was like, there was kind of a debate in this arena of the first couple of years, girls were going to state with records of like 6-1 and stuff.
Yep.
And then there'd be other girls that are like 40 and 15 and realizing, they're counting all their JV matches, whether or not they're going against a boy or girl. And in talking it through with some coaches in our conference and sections and everything, we kind of decided this was the most judicial way, the fairest way that we could give them credit. But also, a lot of these girls are so advanced that, like, are you really comparing them to a JV boy who is, like, super new or whatever? Aliah Fischer eats those people for breakfast. Probably can't count that as, like, an even playing field, which it may be weird to say, like a girl being overpowered. But quite honestly, but then we still wanted to give them credit for when they do wrestle girls. So,
So then at 139, McKayla, she went 1 and 2, didn't place. Just went 1 and 2.
Yeah,
it's still up there.
Yep.
Then Aliah Fischer, number 4, majored number 4. Is it McKayla Pulk?
Yep.
It's one of the Pulk sisters.
Yep. Madeline, maybe.
Madeline Pulk from Badger. I'll just say almost close to Canada.
Greenbush, Middle River.
Yeah.
Yep. Badger.
The Gators.
Yep. So she's ranked 4th at 42.
Yep.
And Aliah's ranked 4th at 48.
Yep. So majored her in the quarterfinals. Ended up in first place, went 3-0. Lucinda went on the 106 on the JV side, went 2-1, took second. And then we had the next 3 girls. We had 3 new girls show up at our junior high practice about 4 practices ago. Mm-hmm. So they've had 4 practices, 1 match where we wrestled, I'll talk about later, and that was it. And we were under the impression when we asked them to come up and go up there and wrestle was that they were going to be in the up-and-coming tournament, where they took, first and second year girl wrestlers and just so they get experience. Well, we got up there. We didn't tell any of them. I told them actually today at practice in the middle school that, no, they got thrown right into JV.
Yeah.
They didn't know, and they just went out there and wrestled. And Aleia Glende, she went 2-0. Good thing here, she
0-2, but yeah.
0-2, sorry.
Yep. No,
0-2. That's fine. She shot in, got her shots, didn't succeed at them, but 4 practices.
4 practices.
You're learning a stance. Yep. You're learning what referee's position is, and she's actually took a shot, and so I was really impressed with her. And then Brynlee Johnson, that girl's an athlete, and she went 1 and 2. So first match, she wrestled, went out there, got beat. Second match, she went out there, and a girl popped her head up, and I don't know who showed her a headlock, but she hit a headlock and pinned the girl.
I was going to say, it was 21 seconds, I think, was the time on her match.
Yeah, the girl took a shot. She sprawled. Jeez. She came right up, and next thing I know, she's got her in a headlock. And sitting there up in the stands watching, and all of a sudden, she gets up, got the pin, shakes hands. She didn't even know she was supposed to wait for the ref to raise her hand. The smile on her face was so big, and as the ref goes, I'm supposed to raise your hand, she just goes... and continued walking off the mat.
All right.
She's like, all right, whatever. I just pinned the girl. So then she went 1 and 2, and then Ella Montanye took 3rd place. I'm thinking Maddie. So then back to a JV girl, high school girl. Yep. Ella Montanye went 1 and 2. She ended up in 3rd place, and then at 170, Harmony took 3rd place. She went 3 and 1. She had a big bracket.
Yeah.
And that bracket also had Maddie Montanye, another one of the junior high girls, who has only had 1 match and 4 practices. She went out there, she wrestled, she got a couple takedowns, which all 3 of them girls from the junior high are impressed me just by how they pay attention.
Sure.
I mean, the other girls in the junior high too, they don't miss anything. I'll just say that. They are very inquisitive on what's going on. So overall, with just it would be 4 girls wrestling varsity. The girls ended up in team points in 5th place with only 5 girls. So pretty good weekend for the girls.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I even heard Aliah Montanye is actually in concussion protocol. So she went 1 and 2, but that's with an injury default as the second one. So who knows? Who knows where she would have been too? But I can't, like the courage it takes to hop into a tournament just a few practices in is so cool. Really love what Coach Ewell and the girls team is building, and other teams are definitely taking notice as far as the results too. Like everyone's been improving leaps and bounds.
Yes. So. So now I'll let you take over for what's going on with the 9th grade.
Well, ninth grade. We hosted the team qualifier for 9th grade last Tuesday. Went extremely well. Extremely smooth tournament that we ran. Had 7 teams here, and honestly, 2 of the teams are probably in the top 3 of the state for 9th grade. Plainview is extremely tough. Chatfield, extremely tough. Goodhue, extremely tough. And actually, Zumbrota, if they didn't have open weights, extremely tough. So 4 teams that are probably top 10 in the state, just out of Region 1 alone. Our team, we had 5 open weights. Some of our best wrestlers in the lower weights are our girl wrestlers. So if we would have had Aliah at 45, if we would have had Kayla at 100, that would have helped a lot. And it's just kind of where we're at. We did really well in the matches we had. It's just team points wise, we weren't going to beat anybody. So we beat Waseca, but then had a tough one against Goodhue and a tough one against Chatfield. And it was still extremely fun. I'm glad we get to host it going forward. For those of you who don't know, 9th grade league, it's kind of its own deal. A great opportunity for kind of the higher end middle school, but also the freshmen that may not be in the varsity lineup at the high school. Better JV kids for sure. But the fact that Region 1 is actually, if you think about it in terms of sections, it's Section 1 and 2 together. So all the way west to South Dakota, and then all the way to the Mississippi. So Owatonna is much more centrally located than it's been in the past. It's been in Zumbrota for years and years. And we're excited to be able to host that going forward.
Okay. Well, before we go on to the next week, on Thursday, middle school, we were up at Lakeville, wrestled Lakeville North and Lakeville South. I want to say we didn't. I don't have the paperwork with me, but I want to say our overall, everybody got 1 match, and a couple kids got 2 matches. But I want to say our record was like 32-10. Against both Lakeville North and South. So we pretty much dominated the Lakevilles, which I like to see.
Yeah, for sure.
We can't let them be sneaking.
Those metro
around.
yuppies.
Yeah. We can't let them be sneaking around us. So that's middle school.
That's awesome. Well, and then this week I'd labeled yours out. Yours are on page 2 because you have a lot.
We
don't have quite as much going on for the high school. This Friday, we're over at Rochester Mayo. For a try with Winona, and this will tie into the middle school. We're having middle school wrestle before the first round, before we wrestle Winona. They're going to be at 4:30, and then varsity JV starts at 5:30. Trying to include in Rochester kind of into the mix. They're not technically a part of our middle school conference. And for those of you who don't know, across the board, their middle school sports basically dissolved a long time ago, and so they're kind of reeling, and we wanted to be able to include them because Art Trimble, Joel Messick, these guys at Mayo and Century are doing a great job, but they're going to all of these high school events with a roster on the JV side that's like 40 kids deep because it's also the middle school. It's 7th through 12th. Kind of across the board. And so we wanted to throw them a bone, get them some good matches. It's a good opportunity. Our high schoolers will watch the middle school for a little bit before we start warming up, and then those middle schoolers get to stay and watch the high schoolers.
We get to go watch the high school boys this week, so that's good. That's good.
So that's a good combo right there. And Mayo's down a little bit this year, but man, we still got to be on our game. If we wrestle the way we did this past weekend, I'm pretty darn confident, but still, they're tough. They lift really well. They're a very strong team, and we better care about team points. So, and then the next day, all of our boys are headed to Hayfield for the Dave Erickson duels. That's going to be a tough day. We start with Lewiston, Altura, Rushford, Peterson, who's in the lean and mean, and they're always same thing, extremely tough small town system there. And then we have Westfield, the hosts, and for those of you who don't know, Blooming Prairie and Hayfield combined for the sake of wrestling to become the Westfield Razorbacks. So we wrestled the home team, and then we finish up with a little team called Jackson County Central.
Okay.
So it's going to be a tough day. Albert Lee's going to be there too. I'm sure we're going to be scouting each other, but we don't actually. We requested obviously not to wrestle each other before conference stuff or before our conference meet. And then, so that'll be another. I love these kind of duels, the kind of quad tournaments, especially when there's some ranked people involved. Jackson's still, I think, 6th in single A this year, so they're not quite as dominant as they've been in years past, but
only
thing.
6th.
Yeah, purebred, amazing program. Yeah. They're going to be tough no matter what.
Yep.
And then the girls are heading over to the Pine Island Classic, which is 400 plus girls compete in that. It's a massive tournament. So all of our girls are heading over there. We're both heading east, and it'll be a big full day. How about the middle school?
Okay, the middle school. So today we just had to practice, which was good. Yeah. We got to practice. Tomorrow we head to Shakopee, to the Shakopee Middle School. We wrestle against Shakopee. Then we come home on Wednesday. We get one more practice for the week.
Yeah.
And then on Thursday we head to Northfield. To wrestle against Northfield, which I hope goes our way.
Yeah.
I mean, it should. And then we come home Friday. Like you said, we go over to get to wrestle before the varsity, and they get to watch us, and then we get to stick around because we've already said bus and nobody's leaving until varsity match is over.
They're all being bussed over on a separate bus, and that'll be cool.
And then Saturday we head to Mankato East, where we'll see Zumbrota-Mazeppa again. Yep. We'll see Albert Lee. The Mankato's. The couple other ones in there too. So it'll be a good day on Saturday over in Mankato, and that's our week. We only get
four events.
4 events this week, and so we get 2 practices. So today we made the best of it, and we'll see how we do tomorrow. And
good luck tomorrow.
Clean up a few little things on Wednesday, and then right back at it for the next 3 days.
That is so awesome. Well, and one of the extracurricular things we're doing this week, I do want to toot the horns of my team because they do such a great job with this. Every single year we team up with Big Brothers Big Sisters to do a special bowling event and pizza party that we throw on behalf of the Owatonna Wrestling Association, and then Big Brothers Big Sisters. We cooperate and split the costs. And it's geared towards Steele County kids who are on the waiting list that haven't been matched up yet in the Big Brothers Big Sisters. So, and it's a win-win. It's great for the kids to have a great time with the bigs or the prospective bigs, which are my wrestlers. And then we've gotten 7 bigs out of wrestlers. So we've had 7 kids step up and become bigs because of this initiative that we've taken. So it's a win-win. It's extremely heartwarming. I'm so proud of the guys and girls from the Owatonna wrestling team. And I just want to say thank you to the bowling alley as well as Big Brothers Big Sisters for that opportunity. Yeah. It's so cool. And thank you to the OWA for funding pizza as well. But so that's a cool event.
It's a good thing, and it's good for the kids to learn how to volunteer.
Exactly.
And help out with the community.
Get some leadership. A lot of them, honestly, and we have this discussion, they don't consider themselves like leaders or role models. Yeah. And it's a great opportunity to mature a little bit, to pay attention or to understand that little kids are paying attention to you.
Yep.
And they've ran with it. It's been extremely successful, and it's made them better for it.
Yeah.
And love that. So win-win there. Well, on top of all that, guess what? We have Coach Lance Hendrickson coming up very quickly, and look out because this guy swears a lot.
Yeah.
He flips tables. He is
very aggressive.
Boisterous. Yeah.
Very aggressive guy.
It's a cage match. All right. We'll see in just a minute. Welcome, everybody, back to the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast. Coach Derek Johnson, accompanied by Coach Gabe Hovden, also accompanied by Coach Lance Hendrickson. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Good. So I say coach because he's a coach with us at the high school. He's been involved with the program under a couple of different regimes since landing a job at Federated way back when,
2006.
2006. There we go. So not originally from Owatonna. Where are you from originally?
I'm not. I actually grew up in Mapleton. I went to Maple River.
Okay.
So just grew up there my whole life. Spent elementary in Mapleton, and then went to Amboy, and then back to Mapleton for high school, and went through that program just south of Mankato.
Okay.
Awesome. So, and you're a part of the Hendricksons because it wasn't just you, correct? What was your family dynamic?
Yeah, so I had a twin brother. It was kind of interesting. We, my brother Jeff and I were wrestlers our whole life, and he was quite a bit different in weight size. We were twin brothers, but I wrestled 112 and he wrestled 125 our freshman year, and then he jumped to 52 and I went to 19, and I stayed there for the rest of my career, and he ended up staying at 71, so kind of interesting joke through everybody, through the program about they didn't even think we were brothers, let alone twins. So
yeah,
you don't fun.
I don't see the resemblance when you show me pictures. Like,
no,
really.
No, yeah. I got more hair than he does.
There you go. Boom.
Good.
Stick it to him. Yeah. Awesome. So growing up there, I know they have a strong tradition. What was that like wrestling for Mapleton, Maple River in their youth program?
Yeah. So I mean, youth wise, I mean, I think it was more about just the experience and just learning and having fun. As I got older, I actually had a mentor that actually I learned a lot of wrestling from. His name was Ned Shuck. He's a coach in the D1 program. He actually was a University of Iowa wrestler, so he beat up on me a lot in my sophomore year and junior year, which kind of you learn really fast when you are getting just it handed to you every day in, day out of practice. So he taught me a lot, and just after he then graduated out, kind of had some success in my senior year, and it was a fun ride, and I did not wrestle in college, but so it just ended at the high school level for me.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, and at the high school level, so were you saying how'd the section type of stuff go for you?
Yeah, actually, so my senior year is my best year that I had. Finished 29-7. Ended up coming up 1 point short to finish my goal of getting in the state tournament and trying to get on the podium. So that was really heartbreaking for me. Actually, neither my brother nor I qualified. That was both our goals to that senior year. So it was okay. I mean, sometimes you learn more about the failures than the successes in life, and I just kind of carry that with me and everything I do. And sometimes you don't get the first time or second time. That's okay.
What did Lance look like on his feet? What were you hitting?
My go-to takedowns was sweep single, duck under, ankle pick. I really enjoyed having a whistle shot. Just keep that in the back pocket, and I would go around tournaments and I would hear the coaches from the other side just yelling, "Watch the whistle shot!" And so they knew it was coming, but that came in handy.
Yeah. Nice. How about on top?
Definitely. Just we call it the gator grip, but the rebar. I love cradles, inside cradles, outside cradles. Those are my go-tos. Just standard bar arms and half Nelsons. It's not rocket science.
Right.
So when you were at about 119 your senior year, right?
Yep.
So were you a tall 119?
No, I was definitely probably a heavy 119 pounder.
Okay, you're a bigger 19.
I was a true 19 pounder my junior year, but I cut down a little bit and maybe stunted my growth for the rest of my life. Who knows?
I'll take that too. I'll say that too.
Yeah. I would have been 7 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we all three of us probably would have been at least 5'11".
At least, guys.
At minimum, if we'd cut right.
Right. Yeah.
We are now in a pact that we have to subscribe to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And then where'd you go to college?
I went to Gustavus Adolphus College in St. Peter. They did not have a program, so that made it easy for me. But that's just kind of where I always wanted to go to college, and got my degree there in economics, and then found my way into the insurance industry, and been there. Actually worked up in the Twin Cities for a year before I made my way down to Owatonna at Federated.
Gotcha. Nice. And then immediately jumped on, right? I didn't realize you were when Davis was still here.
I was.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. Okay. So when did you start with Owatonna then?
So that very first season, October of 06, I started at Federated, and then that season, 06-07, I just said, hey, I want to help out. I like wrestling. I just want to roll around the room a little bit, and so I got connected with Coach Davis. And so coached with him, I think that was about 5 or 6 years that he was still here. And that was great, learned a lot from him. And just it was kind of eye-opening to just understand the tradition and the program that Owatonna is. I mean, Maple River had a pretty good program, but nothing to the level of Owatonna. And it was just, it was amazing just to be a part of that and soak that in and try to help out as where I could. So then coaching with him and then coached with Cliff Castillo for about 5 years. And then made my way onto the board. And I was the treasurer for the board for about 3 years. And then you kind of get to a point in life where you're like, okay, I might have to say no to a few things. So took a break for a little while.
And then we threw the line back out there and
hooked
you back in.
I think that happened, yeah. Yep.
Now we have you for another 20. So I love it.
Good to be back.
Yeah, no, we love having you back. It's you do have kind of the same aura as, that's what the kids say, as Coach Kretlow. You're that type of, not just where you work, not just because you're a federated guy, but kind of the quiet, calm, even keel demeanor, never too high, never too low type of thing. And I think the kids love that type of stability too. So I appreciate you having around, because I am not even keel during duels and all-day tournaments and stuff like that. I'm getting better. But I personally need, if the kids don't, I do need that like rock to just be like, okay, please God, help me here.
Stay grounded.
Yeah, exactly. My blood pressure's all over the place. But no, we love having you in the room. And then also we nabbed you for the Owatonna Wrestling Association and put you through the gauntlet. Your December and January, holy crap. What are you doing for us now?
Yeah, so jumped into the tournament director role to help run the tournaments with track wrestling and then USA bracketing. And so that was a fun ride. Definitely trial by fire. So thank goodness Ryan Fischer was there to help me along the way. He's been awesome to teach me the ropes on running a tournament. But 3 tournaments in a row, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that
650 plus wrestlers.
Yeah.
They weren't small tournaments.
No, it was crazy.
Yeah. And then helped us out again for the 9th grade a few weeks later. And
now it's old hat at this point.
Yeah, now we got middle school conference
25th.
Tournament on the 25th.
That one.
Yeah.
And then we got a USA one probably coming
March 12th-ish.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
you're not done.
No.
But now, like it was fun to see your progression. I mean, you're a data guy. You're organization guy, and it's like, okay, those are the 2 best qualities we can have. And so you bringing up and kind of pushing us coaches to kind of consider some factors and think about things. We need that. We're spacey at times, and we're trying to just get these teams in here. And so for you to step up and run simulations and really prepare before these tournaments has made it so much easier. So I know I appreciate it. I know Coach Jay appreciates it. We had the smoothest tournaments, honestly. I know you beat yourself up anytime there's a hiccup or just a quick, reboot or something like that. But honestly, that happens at every tournament.
Yep.
The fact that
it's not just ours.
Yeah, the fact that we rolled so well through it and still were extremely efficient. That's all we could really ask for. So we appreciate that.
So one of the questions that we asked the wrestlers, I'm going to ask you as a coach. Since you've started in 2006, what is your most memorable moment with the wrestlers? It doesn't have to be a match, or it can be a match. It can be just at a stay overnight, or having fun with the kids, or what stands out from since 2006 in your head with the high school program or the middle school or the youth, wherever you were?
Sure. I'm going to generalize my answer just a little bit, and I think it comes back to being around the kids and making the connections. And when you run into an athlete that you haven't seen for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they come back and call you coach.
Yeah.
I like it just takes your breath away. The respect that you they show you and trying to help them in their journey in life. That's awesome. And it's often those ones where you haven't seen them for an extended period of time, and then they come up to you and then just boom, and you have that connection right back again. And so that's what's kind of cool now, being back with you, Coach Johnson, for the 2nd year now. I'm starting to rebuild those relationships with those kids, because last year they were all new. Sure. I didn't know any of them yet. Yeah. And so building them through now as we've gone the second year and then the third year and so forth. That's what's always kind of really cool and fun.
Good. So, yeah, just wait until that time when the kid used to be a small, 112 to 119 pounder, and he comes up to you at an establishment and goes, "Hey, coach," and you turn around and you look up and you're like, and you can't put the name on it, and they sit and have a conversation with you, and then they say their name, and you just go, "Whoa." Yeah. How'd you get so big? Well, I did this, and and I just started getting healthy, and I started lifting again, and it's like, how did you why weren't you this big back when you were younger?
Yeah,
It's just one of them things where they grow afterwards, and you don't even recognize them, and that's a great feeling that they still come up to you. I mean, I know exactly what you're saying. Yep. So, have you been to any of the state tournaments with any teams yet?
Yeah, so I was there with, let's see here, I was with Cliff. I think we took third place. I'm trying to remember if we were there with Coach Davis. I think we were. So a couple of experiences with that, and that was super fun. Obviously, I never experienced that when I was going through high school, but just to see the opportunity to try and get our teams there for those kids and what they can experience for that. I want that Owatonna program more and more. The more that we can make that happen, the better we are off as a program and a community.
Yep.
Is there any? So this is also kind of putting you on the spot. Of all the different regimes, all the coaches you've been able to be around, even your own high school coaches and everything like that, what's kind of the best piece of advice you've either heard or kind of imparted, kind of co-opted to be your own going forward?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that progress, not perfection. Especially in this sport alone, is we're kind of in pursuit of mastery,
right?
And where people can really try and if you try to become all things for every move, you can really try to boil the ocean, and it can be really difficult for you.
Sure.
So figuring out what's your own, and then pursue, just refining that craft more and more and more. Figuring out what's that kind of skill, combination of skills and tools that you want for your wrestling style. I think that's what I've been really able to take away.
I might take that
coaching.
one from. I'm going to use yours. I'm going to use what was it? Progression.
Progress, not perfection.
Okay. Progress, not perfection. I like that one.
Because I think it's easy for kids to come out and they want to they do the move perfectly the first time they do it.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do that, and it's a technical skill.
And then you give up on it.
You give up on it.
Well, obviously that doesn't work. Nope. So, and it's like, well, okay, it does. There's a reason we're showing stuff. Yeah, no, I like that too. It's, I think that's a big thing and kind of a pitfall, or it can be, if it's not reinforced the right way. And this is kind of an advice to the parents too. Is like, we understand learning cool moves and everything like that. You don't have to be great in all positions. You don't have to be great at all wrestling moves or whatever. But it needs to be more along the lines of helping them, steer them to, what's their lane. It's the same concept I would put as like, would you rather have 6 mediocre pitches as a pitcher, or Johan Santana, who just fastball circle change, and you can do that all day.
Yeah.
He's borderline Hall of Famer with 2 pitches because he specializes. Not that we want him to only have one move, but like, you don't need to just try a billion things.
Yeah.
Right.
You just got to be solid and, have the confidence in a few and know your position. But
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, certainly appreciate you not just being a part of the Owatonna Wrestling staff, but also being a part of the Owatonna Wrestling Association in your second stint on the board and everything, and another very important position because we're going to keep lobbing more tournaments on you. The whole point is we are the authority, and that means along with that is we are, going to showcase this beautiful building to the rest of the state and just keep adding on more and more tournaments. And it's a lot of work, and it wouldn't be possible without hardworking people like you.
And we do thank you. It is greatly appreciated to have guys like you come back and help without even having kids in the program.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not too many of us that do that, and we do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. That was another episode of the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast. Thank you to Coles Electric, along the exact same lines of thank you for supporting the program. Your kids are long graduated, and we still appreciate all the support and everything like that, because we do love hiring good quality, morally great people, because, at the end of the day, our goal is always creating or helping to create and mold exemplary human beings that we're going to send out to the workforce, and they're not just good wrestlers. That's just a byproduct of it. So thank you, coaches, and we'll be back with a ton of results next week. So
see you later.
Thanks.